here's the deal. Anyone who comments, any comment that has a question in it, questions only will qualify. I need a question. Give me a question. You're going to get this 5-page PDF that I'm about to break down with you guys in just 1 second here. And this PDF is literally the guide to build systems, and systems are the only way to make more money in less time. I tell all of my clients, and I live by this as well. If you have not built a system, some part of a system today in your business, that day is a failure. If you want successful days, day in and out, and you want to leave that workspace and say, that was a great day, you just have to know how to do this process as efficiently as possible. So questions in the comment section, last call, questions in the comment section, first 10 questions, give you a 10% chance to win an Amazon gift card. All questions, get a copy of this PDF that cost me literally tens of thousands of dollars to learn how to do this. It's ridiculous. You're getting it for free. That's what I'm doing for you. So, very quickly, I want to help us understand the layout of this particular PDF. And so we're going to try a gamble here, okay? I'm not much of a gambler myself. I don't gamble at all. But we're going to gamble with Facebook Live because there's a start screen share button here, and I have literally no idea if it's going to work. I'm going to bet it's not going to work. The reason we were late is because Facebook likes to do things that really, really annoy me. So let me go ahead and bring up my PDF that you guys are all going to get as long as you comment questions on the down below. And now that I have that, let me just download it. And now that I have it, alrighty then. Cool. Got it open. Perfect. All right, so you guys ready? Ready? All right, so here we go. Start screen share, and is it going to shut down my whole computer? Is it going to just end the internet forever? Got questions coming in on the side. I see a lot of them asking the important questions. What kind of camera is that in the background? Great question, Justin. So that's a Nikon D3200 DSLR, and then we have a GH4 on the bottom there. All right, so do me a favor. Just let me know, how is your dog, Dolores? Somehow I knew you were going to be the one who asked that question. Questions on the side, get you access to this PDF, which I am about to go over right now. Just do me a favor and confirm that you can, in fact, see my screen before I start talking and acting like you do. I think you can. So I'm going to assume it, but I'd love confirmation. Just one person to confirm. And all right, perfect. New listener, what type of system? Doug, great question. So here's the great news. It's any type of system. This is our Define Your Systems PDF. And I'm going to walk you through the ins and outs of this. But essentially, I invested over $10,000 to be able to learn this in the very beginning of my career as a digital marketer. And the first part of this is you're going to give your system a name. And typically, your name is going to be whatever your beginning trigger is and what your ending trigger is. Now, that might be confusing right now, but give me a chance to break it down so that you understand it. Again, you want this PDF? I need a comment for a question on the side here. Departments. There are 5 departments of your business. Please don't bother arguing with me about this. This is exactly the way every single top-run organization in the world breaks things down. You've got marketing, sales, delivery, operations, and finance. It is those 5 things. Those are the 5 departments of your business. Every business, my business, real estate, your business as an accountant, bookkeeper, tax preparer, always those are the departments. So I'm going to walk you through an example of how this works, okay? But what I want you to understand about the way you build systems is you have to account for when people don't do what you want them to do. How many of you have had a client who didn't properly fill out an onboarding questionnaire, maybe didn't buy when you wanted them to buy? They didn't take what is known as the perfect path. So when you're building a system, it's critical that you understand what is the quickest way to get someone from point A to point B. Okay, and I'm going to give you a well-built example. It's a part of the PDF. It'll show you how to do it in a minute, but I want you to understand the exact way that this works. So let's say, for instance, that you're getting ready to onboard a client. Now, there is a definitive starting point to that, right? They bought, they purchased, signed agreement is received. What do they need to do next? That you would determine your own onboarding process, but there is a perfect path for the way that will operate. Now, there are detours, and the detours are you might have a 72-hour period in which they don't give you what you need to deliver the actual to be able to onboard them properly. And then so you have to account for that. Or they might say, you know what, all of a sudden I don't want to do this anymore. And then you have to be able to provide an exit path. And all of these things need to be accounted for. This is how you achieve efficiency. Less time, less money to make more money. So you're going to have a perfectly well-built version of this. So you can print out page 2 of this as much as you want to just build and build and build and build systems. And this is the best way to do it. Trust me, I've tried a million other ways. And then you have the worksheet instructions. So again, perfect path, minimum number of steps. What are the beginning and ending triggers? Exits. What are the possible reasons or why they would exit? And then what happens? Sometimes you'll only have a single exit and that's okay. Detours. Well, not everyone does what you want them to do. And if they don't do that, what is the corresponding set of actions that need to take place to get them operational again in this particular system? Okay. So let me go ahead and show you the, so then you outline the follow-up, and the outline of the follow-up is the smaller box below. This will be much easier to understand in just 1 second when there's a written example, okay? So here's the example. All right, so the system name is effectively sales. This is a sales opportunity here, so we're just gonna call it sales. And then once we are in the beginning trigger area here, we're gonna say, okay, they booked a call. They booked a call. We have the opportunity. We are now getting ready to dive into sales. The ending trigger is bought. Okay, so the minimum number of steps between having them book a call and get to buying your product or service is how we want to be able to build out our perfect path. So what happened goes into the left side of this box. What you want to happen goes into the right side of this box. This is how you literally take all of the wonderful ideas in your brain, you put them on paper, and then you fill out the details of what would happen between these two items. So, bam, beautiful appointment shows up on your calendar, prospective dream client, you're super excited. The question is, what happens next? Well, they booked a call. They need to show up, right? Like, they booked a call, they need to show. So we're gonna send some text message reminders, we're gonna send some email reminders, and you may apply a task for your administrator to call the day of. Now, one of the cool things about something I recently picked up from another digital marketing community is one of the ways to dramatically decrease, literally up to 50%, the number of people who will no-show you is as soon as they book a call, if they get a call, and this is not on the sheet, but this is just for those who are paying attention, taking notes, being proactive. If you literally have someone reach out and call them and say, hey, I just saw that you booked a call on the calendar. I just want to say we're so excited to speak with you and confirm the details. You've now built a bond. You've confirmed that they have an obligation, and it will cut no-shows down dramatically. So that is part of a system that would allow you to have better results, and you just need to make sure that that's included. So while not on the example, for those paying attention, super valuable. Okay, so here we go. If they don't show, right? Like, let's say they don't show up. They canceled, they didn't show, whatever. That's a detour. They didn't take the desired path. And so we want to account for that. And so what happens is, again, what happened on the left side? Well, they canceled or they no-showed. I tend to treat those the same. I just say, hey, you know, whatever, right? You might treat them differently. But then you say, okay, well, they need to reschedule. And this is the way a detour works, right? It's like they went off the perfect path, and then they come back in. So if they need to reschedule and then they book the call again, they're right back on the perfect path. They still need to show up. They rerun that sequence, right? So like, it's literally like whoop, whoop, whoop. They just circle back around into where you want them to be, okay? And again, you can add as many details or as much as you need. So let's go ahead and look at the exit side of this now. Let's say that they fill out a form, and part of your perfect path is you review the form. And if the form is not what you want, wrong type of client, they're startups, you don't work with startups anymore, wrong niche, wrong industry, it's a financial planner trying to buddy up with you, you say, oh, wait a minute, you're not qualified, right? So not qualified, I'm gonna just kick you into our long-term nurture sequence. We may send an email. I don't have the details filled out for this particular one, but if you wanted to, you could easily fill it out and it would just say, hey, not qualified. Send email thanking them for booking the call, letting them know they're not applicable, and then we're going to kick them into our long-term nurture sequence if they may become a legitimate prospective client in the not-so-distant future, okay? However, let's get back to our perfect path. So we covered sort of what happens on the exits. We've covered the detour here. Let's say they show up for the call. Woo! Yeah, right. Like they showed up for the call. Well, they need the presentation. So we need to have the slide deck open, and we're going to need to make sure that we deliver our quote. Now, if we drop down to the next part here, the perfect path is we present it to them. Okay, right? So again, literally always the next box is what happened here. Needs presentation? Well, they received the presentation. Well, once they receive the presentation, what needs to happen? They need to buy. They need to buy. Like, I know this sounds like so ridiculously just like plodding along, but this is how you account for every single part of your business. If you account for every single part of your business, you get more efficiency. Like, that's the way this works. So again, you're going to go, okay, we presented, they need to buy. I'm going to update the timeline for a decision. I'm going to update our notes in the database. But maybe they didn't buy, right? This is the detour. They did not buy. Well, what is the standard protocol that you would want to follow when they did not buy? Well, you're going to book a follow-up call right on that phone. You're going to email the proposal, and you're going to make sure that you trigger reminders for them to show up for the call when they come to make the final decision. And then again, they may not buy. If we swing it over to the exit side here, they might say, well, this was great. But we went with another firm, or you know what, my aunt's uncle's niece is going to do the books for us, and we're happy to go to jail. It's fine. And so they did not buy. So you may, again, start a long-term nurture sequence. There may be things that you do that you're going to say, you know what, like they didn't meet our particular parameters. They need to exit this and go into another part of a system. Now, here's why this last particular area is super important. Let's say that they did everything you wanted. Perfect path, A to B as quickly as possible. Now they bought. And I'm going to just actually switch to stop screen sharing because I want to just emphasize this. One of the reasons people have such difficulty with building systems is they will have that system go like, they bought, so now on board. You need to separate these things out. They have to be separate plays in different departments of your business, okay? In other words, as soon as they bought, this is no longer a sales system. The system has ended, but it needs to trigger into the onboarding process. That is so critical. Like, don't try and just stack everything on top of each other, because then it turns into a systematic nightmare. And if something breaks, you have no idea how to fix it because there's no segmentation. If you segment the way each system works and you treat them exactly the way I've just showed you, you're going to be able to create a very comprehensive business where you can tweak and change each system without impacting everything else. I'm telling you, if you try to say, well, they bought, start onboarding. Well, now here's the next perfect path for onboarding. No, it's a totally separate system. It's a totally separate way. You have to treat it completely differently now because it's in a different department of your business. I know I'm like really emphatic about that. By the way, questions on the side, you give me questions on the side. You're going to get the PDF. You're also going to be able to potentially win an Amazon gift card. Not sure if we have 10 comments yet, but questions on the side. So back to the screen share very quickly. Hopefully we don't, shut down the entire internet in the process here. Okay. So let's say they bought. Again, start client onboarding is another system, just to be clear. And then you will build a separate perfect path for what your client onboarding process looks like. All right. And if you want more, you go to dreamfirms.com/free training, guys. That is effectively the way you build efficient systems. You need to make sure that you have your 5 departments. You know what department the play is in. If it's marketing, it's getting people to raise their hand, say, oh, I'm interested in what you have to offer. That's all lead gen. Anything related to getting people interested in your services is a marketing play. What I'm doing right now is a marketing play, okay? Sales, if you book a call, you go to dreamfirms.com/free training, you book a call, guess what ends up happening? That's a sales play. So the way I treat how that system works, how everything gets built up to that is fundamentally different. There's a separate perfect path that goes into that, okay? So again, once you buy, the fulfillment system is different. And I know that sounds obvious, but it's so critical to segment these out, account for when it works perfectly, account for when there's a small nuance of a problem, and then account for when they do not belong in this place at all. And when you take the time to actually map it out, like literally sit down with this PDF, you comment and you get it, you don't comment and you don't get it, you take your brain and say, what happened? What needs to happen? What happened? What needs to happen? Okay, what happened? How do I increase the likelihood that they do understand exactly what they need to do? How do I get them to acquiesce to my system as much as possible? Onboarding is not a marketing play, Brian Clare. I fundamentally disagree. Marketing is about lead generation. And the difference here is that marketing is about getting people interested in your services. Fulfillment or delivering on your promises is a branch of communication, which people will conflate and say, hey, that means that ultimately, since I'm communicating with them, it's a division of marketing. And that is not true. The way you treat your fulfillment is different than the way you treat your marketing. It's fundamentally different. And again, I'm so emphatic about it because if you try and treat your fulfillment systems the same way as you treat your marketing, it's not the same thing. It's not the same. So again, get your free PDF, ask me a question on the side. All you need to do is take all the wonderful, wonderful ways that you build systems, drop them into this spreadsheet, the way this works, and then go build the tool. Go put this into the tools. Like, just do it. It's so simple. Like, and again, if you want to have a successful business day, like if you want to know the best metric to measure whether or not you had a successful business day, did you build any form of a system, any part of a system today? And what part did you build it in? Because if you're struggling with leads right now, if you're like, I don't have enough leads, it's because you don't have enough systems operational in your business that tell you that you need, that are running and actually working and getting more people interested. So if you're like, oh, I have no leads, it's because you don't have any marketing systems. And if you're like, I'm struggling converting my clients, the people who are interested in paying clients, it's because you don't have sales systems. If you're struggling with being able to not have a revolving door of people who are able to stay with your firm for a long term, it's because you don't have a fulfillment system. Like, you don't have enough fulfillment systems operational. Yes, Emily Bryant, it is a flow chart. That's exactly right. So I've got a call. I've got to hop on. I've got a coaching call in 5 minutes with the OG, David Feeney. But I want to say thank you. We had 20 plus people, a lot of great comments. I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me, investing your most precious resource, your time. You want to save your time. You want to make more money in less time, build systems. You want this PDF that tells you exactly how to do it. Comment over here.